Guangdong authorities hand over to Hong Kong police the suspect in a homicide and robbery case in Taipo. Security tightened at the South Korean consulate after a North Korean defector sought asylum.
There has never been a man or a woman, not me, not Bill, nobody, more qualified than Hillary Clinton to serve as President of the United States of America.
And Barack Obama backs Hillary Clinton at the National Democratic Convention.
Good evening. Concrete and satisfactory progress was reported in the second round of talks today between Hong Kong and the mainland on the notification mechanism involving the arrest of individuals. The controversy was sparked by the booksellers case. Adam Shu reports.
The Hong Kong delegation, headed by Secretary for Security Lai Tong-kwok, arrived in Shenzhen this morning. They met mainland officials led by Vice Minister of Public Security Chen Jimin. The two sides today followed up on the consensus reached during their first meeting in Beijing early this month, when they agreed to inform each other of the arrest of residents within 14 days. Speaking before the talks, Chen said they would touch on problems of the notification mechanism since its implementation in 2001. Also on the agenda, visits to those arrested and notifications that need to be kept confidential. Lai, for his part, said he hopes an improved mechanism would better protect the rights of people on both sides of the border. He stressed the system should be run in a fair, open and transparent manner. In a statement issued afterwards, the Hong Kong government said the two sides held a comprehensive, in-depth, candid and practical discussion, and that the talks yielded concrete and satisfactory progress. The talks came amid concerns sparked by the booksellers case. It was pointed out that mainland authorities failed to notify Hong Kong of their arrest across the border for months. Also today, mainland authorities handed over to Hong Kong a suspect in the murder of a Taipo money changer in March. He was arrested by mainland authorities last month. Adam Xu, TVB News.
Security around the South Korean consulate in Admiralty was beefed up today after a North Korean defector reportedly sought asylum there. Local authorities have only said they are aware of the reports, but the defector is thought to be a student who came here 2 weeks ago to take part in an international mathematics competition. Anne-Marie Sim has the story.
As word spread of a North Korean defector apparently seeking refuge at the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea in Hong Kong, journalists were quick to surround its offices on the 5th floor of the Far East Finance Centre in Admiralty this morning.
Please, go. Please, go inside. Move. Stop pushing. Yeah, go.
Consulate and building staff sealed off the 5th floor and ordered reporters to leave, saying they had no right to be there because it was a private area. Media reports say the defector is an 18-year-old member of the North Korean delegation that came here to take part in the annual International Mathematical Olympiad, hosted by the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology 2 weeks ago. Police sent uniformed and plainclothes officers, as well as members of the counter-terrorism division, to the building today to boost security. Consul General Kim Kwang-dong made a brief appearance in the lobby this morning, but remained tight-lipped on the defector's situation. The Security Bureau, the police and the Office of the Commissioner of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here would only say that they were aware of the media reports, but did not elaborate further. Steve Chung, an assistant lecturer in global studies at the Chinese University, explained that what to do with the defector falls out of the Hong Kong government's jurisdiction, since it involves foreign affairs which are handled by the central government. Anne-Marie Sim, TVB News.
Edward Leung of Hong Kong Indigenous, who has filed a legal challenge to a confirmation form that LegCo election hopefuls have to sign, say he has signed the form. Anne-Marie Sim again.
Edward Leung said he had signed the confirmation form voicing support for the Basic Law, including a provision that says Hong Kong is an inalienable part of China. Leung says he intends to run in the Lejko election in September. There are so far 19 lists of candidates running in the New Territories East geographical constituency. In addition to the one led by Edward Leung, the other lists of candidates are headed by Lam Chuk Ting, Eunice Yung, Christine Fung, Dominic Lee, Elizabeth Quat, Fernando Jung, Gary Fan, Gary Chan, Bowie Howe, Tankar Pugh, Alvin Yeung, Leung Kwok Hung, Raymond Chan, Raymond Mack, Letitia Lee, Liu Tin Shing, Horace Chin and Estella Chan. Anne-Marie Sim, TVB News.
Islamic State's news agency has released a video that purportedly shows the two attackers who killed a priest in France on Tuesday. One of the men identifies himself by his jihadi name, Abu Jalil al-Hanafi, and says his compatriot is Ibn Omar. French authorities have identified the man talking in the video as 19-year-old Adel Kermiche. The other man has not been identified. Meanwhile, a mass was held in Rouen Cathedral for Jacques Hamel, the Roman Catholic priest who was killed. The 85-year-old cleric was forced to his knees while giving mass in the nearby town of Saint-Étienne-du-Rouvray and had his throat slashed. The two attackers were killed by police as they came out of the church.
The Turkish military faces a major overhaul following the failed coup attempt earlier this month. As Tony Sabine reports, the military and the media are key targets of a government crackdown.
The current leadership paid tribute to the founding father of the modern Turkish Republic. Prime Minister Binali Yildirim and other officials today visited the mausoleum of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk in Ankara. Yildirim then chaired a top-level Supreme Military Council meeting. This comes just one day after almost 1,700 members of the military were discharged, among them 149 generals and admirals, in the wake of this month's failed coup attempt.
This abhorrent coup, which has largely devastated the reputation of Turkish armed forces in the country, which was always traditionally amongst the most trusted institutions, has been a blow to the army's reputation. It is unimaginable that these people who has attempted this coup are still considered, at least on paper, as members of the Turkish armed forces. Turkish politics will have some space to normalize itself.
Another target of the government crackdown, the media. Ankara yesterday shut down more than 100 media outlets, including news agencies, TV channels, newspapers and magazines. And arrest warrants have been issued for at least 89 journalists so far this week. Turkey accuses exiled cleric Fethullah Gulen of orchestrating the coup. This government supporter says the United States had a hand too. Gulen is a pawn of the US, Israel and Britain, he said. And one newspaper published a photograph of a hotel which it says was where CIA agents had met to hatch the plot. Some say all this intrigue has helped President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. But is it good for the country in the long run?
He has this opportunity to move against those who oppose him. And yet, because of the coup, he is now ruling over a Turkey which is much weaker. So that by pointing a finger at threats from abroad, threats from within, etc., he, in a sense, is isolating Turkey.
Tony Sabine, TVB News.
John Hinckley Jr., the man who shot and wounded U.S. President Ronald Reagan and 3 other people in 1981, will be freed from a psychiatric institution next month. The decision by a federal judge to release him has been met with controversy and concern. Alan Booknear reports.
John Hinckley was 25 years old when he shot at Ronald Reagan 6 times with a revolver he picked up in a pawn shop. He was fueled by his obsession with the movie Taxi Driver and its teenage star, Jodie Foster. White House Press Secretary James Brady was severely injured in the assassination attempt, leading to the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence. A year later, Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity and locked up in a psychiatric institution. Now 61, he's been allowed freedom in stages since 2003. He's seen here on a visit to his mother last year. Now a district court judge has ruled that Hinckley, who's been living with his mother in Williamsburg, Virginia for 17 days each month, no longer poses a threat to society. The judge said Hinckley is permitted to reside full-time in his mother's home on convalescent leave, which will begin as soon as August 5th. Danny Spriggs, a former Secret Service agent who helped take Hinckley into custody after the shooting, expressed his disappointment.
What kind of message does that send to potential individuals who are in a similar either mental state or a situation where they basically are looking for notoriety? And that does concern me.
There's also concern in the town he's going to be living in.
The majority of people don't want him back here. They just don't want to take the chance because they've seen too many instances, where people are freed and then they commit a crime.
The things in his mind that drove him to do what he did, nobody can convince me those things are no longer there.
But others aren't as worried.
I don't think it'd be a problem for his immediate neighbors, but for what he did or attempted to do was serious.
Once he's released, Hinckley will still have to go back to the psychiatric hospital in Washington once a month to be checked. He's also barred from trying to contact Jodie Foster or any of his victims or their relatives. Alan Burknett, TVB News.
Still ahead in our newscast. Hong Kong women and men top the world in average life expectancy. And the government may consider new legislation to help the food truck business.
It's quite hard to get all your wine drinking done by 6 p.m.
It is.